right, I'll let you intro.
That's nerve-wracking. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another installment of your favorite internet movie podcast, the only one that exists, the only one in the world, the only one that matters, okay? And that is the Mr. Movies podcast.
The Mr. Movies podcast.
Hey,
we did it.
It's the Mr. Movie podcast.
See, I want to join in, but if I did, you'd call that racist.
I would. How was October for you, Duncan?
Well, I hope this doesn't affect the recording too much, but let me check my notes. I have to use my phone for this recording.
Okay.
Because I moved. I did a little moving.
We lost your video, Duncan.
Oh, is that what it does?
Yeah.
As soon as I find my computer, I'll be back. Okay, here I am. October was pretty good.
Oh, my eyes look horrible. I look like I haven't slept because I haven't. That's a fun.
Oh no. Let's blast through this episode then, so you don't have to stay up.
We will get through it. You know, October was a pretty groovy month. I watched some things that I can't wait to talk about. How many
that's awesome.
Did you watch, Duncan? I have a feeling I'm going to start because I watched 17 things.
Oh my Christ. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 things, and I don't have to talk about 2 of them.
Okay,
because we already have.
I'm going to knock off things we already talked about. The Midnight Club, it's phenomenal.
Unfortunately, oh my God.
It was canceled.
Rest in peace, The Midnight Club.
Mike Flanagan, after the Fall of the House of Usher comes out this year, which I'm very excited for. He's moving to Amazon Prime. And
good. Netflix has screwed him.
Mike, I got my Dr. Sleep poster. We love Mikey Mike in this house, in this podcast.
This is a pro Michael.
This is a pro Michael podcast. Another movie, I don't really have anything to say. I thought it was really bad. I watched the movie Amsterdam, which is the David O. Russell movie with Christian Bale, Margot Robbie, and I always forget his name, Denzel Washington's son.
Zippy Washington.
No, that's not it.
Is it not Zippy?
It's not Zippy. This movie, I enjoyed the first act, and then after that it fell off. I feel like they just had all these talented people in this film and they didn't do anything with it.
What's this movie?
What
is this movie?
I don't even know. It's about 3.
I'm so curious.
Somehow the Nazis are involved. I don't really remember too much. I was really confused, and I just couldn't get into it. But
so we'll just put up like a question mark.
Yeah, I wasn't a fan of Amsterdam.
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm.
But
what are you gonna do?
What are you gonna do? Things happen. You know what? Since we just talked about Mike Flanagan, this perfect segue. I watched Mikey Mike's first feature film called Absentia, and this is the movie that put the man on the map. What was able to get him to get in line with Netflix in the first place, create that relationship, and then create just some absolute bangers. Absentia, it's super low budget. It was filmed like on a camcorder.
Ooh.
Mikey Mike delivers the goods, as always. He knows what to do, even with no money. I recommend, if you're a fan of Mike Flanagan, to seek this film out, because you'll just have such an appreciation for the man, even more so than you already do.
And if you've listened to any episodes of this, you have to be a Michael fan,
you do,
because we talk about him way too much.
I love Mike Flanagan. I have
Michael Fleichel
book on that shelf right there. It's phenomenal. Mike Flanagan, we love and respect you, and thank you for being the man you are.
Is he on Cameo?
I have no idea.
We should get him to say something for this podcast.
We should have a Mike Flanagan.
Imagine if we got him to
say or we either need Mike Flanagan or Steve Zahn.
Oh God, the dream.
The dream. Duncan, what did you watch?
We should write a dialogue so they can talk to each other. Okay, yeah. I watched a TV show called Shadow and Bone on Netflix.
What is this? Tell me as I stir my soup.
There you go. So I was drawn to this because the concept was very out there. And spoiler alert, I don't think the show is as good as I had hoped it to be.
Who?
Shadow and Bone, the concept is that there's this fantasy world where some people are born with magic, some people aren't. There's like a race of them that are like they can control light or something. I was not interested in that. That's very Gryffindor, Slytherin kind of a magic building system. But what happened was the continent that they're all on gets sectioned off by this like wall of fog. And if you go into the fog, like there's like a bunch of monsters that'll rip you apart.
So it's the Mist.
It's like fantasy the mist, yeah.
Okay.
And so the whole thing is like they try to build like a train boat that'll like go across these rails, and so they can make contact with the other side. And then the first episode kills nearly every character it introduces you to, which I love. I love when shows do that. They're like, here's like 13 people that you're gonna watch grow, and then half it. I thought that was interesting. The rest of the show was like political and weird, and like they made really modern jokes that didn't land in a fantasy setting. There's another season coming out. I might check it out, but honestly,
Got to. You got to
Shadow and Bone gets like a solid middle thumbs up.
middle road.
Middle
Okay.
thumbs up.
Well, Duncan, I'm gonna you know what? Talk about something that we're gonna talk about some horror movies.
Ooh.
And the first one I'll start with is one you recommended that I check out, and I did, and that is the Judy Greer film Good Boy.
Oh wow, you watched Good Boy.
I watched Good Boy. What a wild film. This movie, what a ride.
Yeah, they take you through the whole journey.
They
sure.
really went for it, and I enjoyed it. I laughed, and I like Judy Greer, and I enjoyed it. I don't have
This
much.
it felt like a student film, but like a really enjoyable student film.
You know what? That's a good analogy. A very enjoyable student film starring Judy Greer. I mean, Judy Greer carries the movie. The dog stuff is hilarious. It's just, it's all good.
A lot of great dog stuff in there.
And speaking of Judy Greer,
Ooh.
Halloween movies, Duncan.
Yeah.
You know Mikey Myers.
Not to be confused with Mikey Flanagan.
Well, not the killer Michael Myers, not Shrek.
Jeez, there's a lot to keep track of here.
There's a killer in the neighborhood, Donkey. That's my Shrek impression.
We made like what 15 minutes before an impression happened.
If I get kicked out of this building, it will have been worth it.
Tell me about the damn movie.
I watched the final installment of the new Halloween reboot series, and that is Halloween Ends. And
wait, is it final? Isn't there a part 2?
No, that was it. So they had Halloween the reboot, which is the best one of the 3. They had Halloween Kills, and now they had Halloween Ends. And Halloween Ends, I will give it this. The opening scene, I think, is one of the best opening scenes in a Halloween movie. Like I was like, I love the setup. Where it goes after that, I wasn't the hugest fan of. But why are you doing that, Duncan?
Why am I doing what?
Are you flipping your phone around? What's happening?
Full disclosure, I had to go check my notes to see what I was going to talk about next, and I think this camera just immediately.
Yeah, I was going to say it's flipping out. It's okay. Halloween Ends is it's enjoyable. Yes.
Do they kill him?
I don't want to spoil the movie, Duncan.
You're gonna have to make me watch the other Halloween movies to find out.
You could just watch Halloween Ends. I think it's on Amazon Prime.
Oh, you want me to just launch into the end of a story I'm not familiar with?
You watched the first one, didn't you?
Yes.
I was gonna say I made you watch
I'm
it.
complaining about watching the second one.
I think it's worth a watch. It's an interesting concept what they do with the story with Michael Myers. Um,
Sure.
my issue with it is that in the first so the first one it's like, oh, he's just a dude, and the second one it was like, oh, he's more than just a dude, he kind of has this mythical thing to him. And now in this one they're like, nah, he's just a dude. And I'm just like, make up your mind. That was the biggest thing that bothered me. It was like, what are you doing? The granddaughter,
Yeah.
in the movie of Laurie Strode, she falls in love with this guy, and I don't buy the love story for 2 seconds. Um,
It
I
should have
it
been
was,
me.
yeah, it's just it's too much to they ask too much of the audience with it. But
Gotcha.
I think this movie tries to do a lot. I don't think it I unfortunately don't think that it ever hits the highs it wants to. The last final
Mm.
fight between Laurie Strode and Michael Myers is fun. I wasn't a huge
Is
fan.
it on Mustafar?
Yeah, it takes place on Mustafar. It takes place on a green screen.
It's the best way duels can happen.
Yeah, only on Mustafar. Um, but Halloween ends, it's but now I must talk. I'm gonna talk one more, Duncan.
Go
I
for it.
I'm gonna talk about a Netflix movie, another horror movie I watched. And this is a movie that's so bad that it's good. And the movie stars CM Punk. And
Where is this going?
it's called Girl on the Third Floor. And this movie's so bad. It's just so bad, Duncan. The
Just
acting's bad. It's about a man who's cheating on his wife with like the next door neighbor. And this movie, it's R rated, like it's heavy R rated, and it's very promiscuous. Like it's very like.
ooh. Were they hoping that would sell the movie?
Well, here's the thing. There's a lot of there's a lot of like naked people in the movie, but they never show nudity. And they go out of their way to not show nudity to the point where it's distracting, and it's just like, what are you doing? Like,
Okay.
if you didn't want to show it, don't have it be that big of a plot point in this.
Don't have him. Yeah, don't have him naked.
There's a scene with like these marbles rolling around on the floor, and you're just like, what is happening? Like, what? Who wrote this script?
Marbles.
This feels like a student film, but not a good one. And then they somehow got CM Punk because they owned the director's favorite dad or something. And it's just so wild, but I had a good time watching it.
Okay. What is it like? So we're supposed to root for the guy who's cheating on his wife.
In a way, yeah.
And what were the marbles?
I don't remember, but there's marbles in this movie, Duncan. There's a lot of marbles in this movie.
Do they carry like a big plot?
Probably.
Loud and clear. I understand.
But yeah.
I can go next.
Yeah, I was gonna say, what did you watch?
I watched the movie Thoroughbreds.
This is one of my all-time favorite movies.
It was really good. This is with
it's so good.
Anya Taylor-Joy and
Olivia Cook.
Olivia Cook. I wanted to say like Olivia Colman, but I don't think that's the right one.
That's the wrong Olivia.
Too many Olivias.
Olivia Colman, great actress. God bless.
Yeah, come on the pod if you want, Olivia. Anyway, so this movie was really good. I thought, for those who don't know, the plot is essentially it's these two girls, one more preppy, the other more weird and off the cuff. They're tutoring for math, and the preppy one is like, "Ugh, I hate my dad. You should kill him." And she's like, "Okay." And then they take it seriously.
This guy's stepdad, this girl's stepdad.
The stepdad, and he's kind of a dick, and like you don't want him to die, but like you want something to happen. So the whole movie, you're waiting for like either this guy gets some kind of comeuppance or they decide not to go through with it. And the movie does a fantastic job of making you want both things. And then when one of them happens, you freak out anyway.
Yeah.
Really, really good movie.
It's a very good movie. It's very good.
It's weird though.
And I love the soundtrack of the movie because it's just some lady going to microphone going, like the whole movie. And
Yeah,
it's great though. I love
very
it.
unsettling.
And then yeah, it's just so good. I love everything about that movie. I love the way it's shot. I just love the style. It feels like a play. It's just very,
Mhm.
I love it.
5 out of 5. Everyone go watch it. I recommend it.
Yes, I highly recommend it. Duncan, I'm going to talk about, what should I talk about? Ooh, I'm going to talk about
I
a
love it
movie
when
I
it's like
watched.
picking a poison. Yeah, go ahead.
Um, I watched the movie Rush Hour for the first time. Have you seen Rush Hour?
Nope,
Jackie Chan
but
movie?
I know about it.
I why'd you say it like that?
I think that movie is pretty notorious for racism.
I can see that. Now that you mention it, I could kind of see that. Um,
I think I walked in on like someone else watching it one time and I heard so many curse words and slurs that I like left.
yeah, yeah, that was the movie.
Oh boy.
Yeah, no, there's definitely that. I mean, I, I don't know. I mean, I think the movie's enjoyable. I think it's fun.
Because
It,
it goes both ways, right?
yeah, I
It's
was
just
gonna
the
say it's
two main characters are being racist to each
to
other.
each other, and it's yeah.
I think if the movie was written by white people, then we have a problem.
I I
But
think
let's just not look it up.
the movie's a product of its time.
That's
Um,
for sure.
I enjoyed it. It got a few chuckles out of me. I love the Jackie Chan. This physical comedy is on. You can't beat it.
It always is, yeah.
And story's not anything special, but I mean the set pieces are insane. I love the relationship between the two main characters. It's
Mhm.
cliche, Again, it is sort of that, oh, we're picking on each other because we come from different backgrounds, but they come together and they kick ass, Duncan. And
Oh,
that's all any man wants in life.
a friend to kick ass with?
Hell yeah, baby. Um,
Oh my
so that's
god.
Rush Hour. I also watched the movie Smile, which
Oh, you watched Smile.
I watched Smile, and
Jesus.
I thought Smile. I wasn't expecting much from it, um, but I really enjoyed it, and I thought it was a really good, fun movie. I believe it's now streaming, so if people want to check
I
it out,
I've heard that this movie sneak up on you a bit.
the what
Like
you
the
cut out for
commercial.
half a second.
Oh, I've heard that this movie sneaks up on you a bit. Like it starts with a very like cheesy premise, like oh no, people smile, and that means
Yeah.
they're gonna kill you. And then I've heard like by the end it gets like 4 levels crazier.
Oh yeah, no, it gets intense. They reveal the thing that's causing the smiles at the end of the movie, and just the design of it. That'll freak you
Yeah,
out.
I think I accidentally saw that clip in a YouTube video,
Yeah.
and I was like, okay, cool. I don't want to watch
And
that.
you don't expect stuff like that's the kind of stuff you see in like an indie horror. You don't see that in mainstream. So I really dug that aspect of it, and
Hmm.
I loved it. Duncan, how many more things do you have? I definitely have to go again. So it doesn't. I guess it doesn't matter. Um,
Cool.
I watched. Which one do I want to talk about? Okay. I went to my I went to my first Hollywood premiere, Duncan. And
Oh,
I got to go to an indie film that was filmed in my hometown of Rochester, New York, called Ask Me to Dance. And I am a background extra in this movie. So
no
if
way.
you watch it, the scene during the bar, I'm sitting right next to the main character. I'm looking straight ahead and talking to nobody. It's pretty funny. Um, my cousin's band, 1916, is in it. Shout out to them too. He's the accordion player. And this is a really, I'm not just saying it because I'm in the movie. It's cheesy. The main characters' names are Jack and Jill. It's cheesy. It's a cheesy rom-com. But you know what?
Okay, so you go into it knowing it's cheesy.
Yeah, you go into it knowing it, and it's really enjoyable. It's a fun movie. I definitely recommend like supporting it. And you get to see this handsome mug on the big screen, Duncan.
Is
Uh,
it streaming?
It's probably on VOD. I don't know if it's on any streaming service,
I
but
gotta watch it so I can take a screenshot of you
yeah.
as at that bar.
My
And
nose is in the trailer. Just my nose.
I'm gonna watch the trailer and find your little nose.
And you know what? The trailer came out, and I got a text message from my sister with a screenshot in a circle, and she said, "Is this your nose?" So you know what? You- this,
That's
this
really,
this whole thing is going.
look at that recognizable star.
Yeah. So Ask Me to Dance. I highly recommend it. Definitely check it out. It's a good movie. It's genuinely good. You can tell the people behind it are just having a good time making it. It's funny. It's a good time. There's a Breaking Bad
What
joke.
matters, yeah.
So you know that's all I could ask for as a man, and that's all you need. Duncan, what did you watch?
Okay, I watched. Well, by now I watched the first season of the show, but by now there's 2 seasons out, so I might as well talk about the whole thing. It is called The Sex Lives of College Girls, which sounds bad.
My soup is boiling. Give me a second while you explain, or explain why.
Guys, I don't think his soup's really boiling. I
My
think he's
soup is
calling the
boiling.
police. I think he's calling the police to turn me in.
Oh gosh.
So this is a Mindy
Water
Kaling
soup.
show.
So what's the show about, Duncan? I can take a guess, but why don't you tell me?
All right, smartass. It was more so. It's like another Mindy Kaling drama show, but it's set in a college, and it follows these 4 girls who are roommates and the different romance, scandal, relationship. I'm making it sound like cheesy and like a drama. It's not. It's genuinely pretty funny. I think the writing, but in like the quips and the back and forth, is really like 5-star writing. I think the character relations are good. The show definitely falls apart when none of the 4 girls are with each other.
Yeah.
Every time the character leaves, it's just very weird. And okay, I know when Velma came out, a lot of people were like critiquing Mindy Kaling's writing. And sure, like making a self insert is like whatever. But in this one, she takes a lot of really bad love interests and redeems them. So like there's a guy and like one of the girls is dating him, and then he does something like incredibly shitty, or like she does something shitty to him. And then like by the end of the next episode, they're back in it. And it's like, no, that should not happen. And I don't know. It's you can tell it's written by someone who hasn't been to college in a while. So
Yeah.
it's kind of funny in that regard. And the drone shots of the college, they actually filmed it in my state, University of Washington, because it looks good from a far distance.
Yeah.
Up close, it's shit.
So how was the show? Would you if there was another season coming out, would you watch it?
I guess. I guess I'd. Here's the thing. I
How long
miss.
is each how long is a season?
Not long. I think it's 8 episodes or maybe 10. And I
How
think it's
long is
like
each episode?
probably around 30 minutes.
30? So that's 4 hours. Duncan, you could watch The Irishman and still have a half hour left.
I watched the show over 3 weeks. It's not the same as like sitting down ready to go for 4 hours of hey,
Three and a half. Three and a half.
you took my ring.
That's not even a line in the movie.
Oh my, I don't know what it's about.
You got to watch it.
I don't know what it's
Jimmy
about.
Hoffa and the Teamsters. It's great. I'm actually listening to the behind the scenes podcast with that they did, and it's so good. It's so good. I rewatched it the other night, and I was
The other night, you just sat down and watched a 3.5 hour movie.
yeah. Sometimes that's what you got to do, and I'm going to talk about it in our March episode.
God help us all.
I've talked about this movie like 10 times on this podcast, but I
You must not have told me what it's about because I really don't know.
Just watch it. Just watch the movie. You'll be invested. It's about life, Duncan, okay?
It's it's about life.
It's about life and the friends we make along the way. And the ones we gotta whack. Okay.
Go again.
Well, October marked the 2 month.
You cut out for a little bit. The last thing I heard was
I
you
didn't cut
whacking your
out. I
friends.
paused because I don't know how to talk, Duncan. That's my issue. I
No
tried to
worries.
say for the first time. You know that tea that the white woman like to drink, and
Chamomile?
it comes with a fat straw and it's got those beads at the bottom.
Boba tea?
Yeah, I tried that for the first time today.
What do you think?
Pretty good. Pretty good.
Can you feel the
You
balls?
choke on that stuff though, because you're drinking the tea and you're enjoying it, and all of a sudden you got these little things shooting to the back of your throat in the middle of public. And then I walked by the Lego store and I started choking, and they had the winners from the Lego Master Builder show there, and they started looking at me, and I was like, oh gosh.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Oh my god. Which season? Which winners from which season?
Who cares? Anyway, October marked the that we were 2 months away from the cinematic masterpiece that would be Avatar: The Way of Water. And as you know, Duncan, I was excited. I was ready. I wanted to travel to Pandora and meet a 9 foot tall woman underneath a tree of souls and ponytails. And I needed to prepare for it. So I needed some Jimmy James Cameron in my life. So I watched a limited series that he did called James Cameron's The Story of Science Fiction, where he sits down with a bunch of famous directors like Steven Spielberg, George Lucas, Christopher Nolan, Ridley Scott, and he talks about the science fiction films that they have made and how they came to be. And this is such an insightful series. I absolutely loved watching this. I had a blast. George Lucas talks about the politics of Star Wars. Stevie Steve talks about E.T. And it's just Ridley Scott with Alien. And it's just seeing how all these iconic films came together and the core love for science fiction and how they pulled inspiration from the real world. And I just absolutely loved watching this series. And you can watch it for free on YouTube. And I highly recommend checking it out. It's kind of like a podcast-esque sort of thing. So you can kind of just plug in your headphones and listen to it. But it is so good. I highly recommend it. And James Cameron never misses. And when we get to our December episode, the Avatar event. That's what we're going to call that episode. The Avatar event. I loved Avatar: The Way of Water. I love Avatar: The Way of Water. Seeing that in theaters was a religious experience, and I cannot wait to
You were baptized in the waters of the Pandorian beach.
Yes, on the waters of Pandora with the Mekai.
That water's probably a little dirty with all those whales in it.
Avatar: The Way of Water. Duncan, go see it. I know you haven't seen it yet. See it in 3D.
Oh gee, how'd you tell?
Because Duncan, you don't value cinema, but the second they do a re-release of Ant-Man and the Wasp, you'll be first in line.
I'm not even gonna go see the third one. I don't want to take any of this shit from you. I don't even care, man. Have you seen that movie yet? I saw pictures from it.
Duncan, wait till the February episode.
Oh, whatever.
Woof. Speaking of Marvel, I watched She-Hulk.
No way.
Everyone's favorite attorney. Duncan, did you watch She-Hulk?
I got like 4 episodes in.
Did you watch the Daredevil episode?
No.
You should watch the Daredevil episode. I feel like you genuinely would enjoy that. She-Hulk.
Okay.
She-Hulk, I have to spoil. She-Hulk does the Disney
Go
Plus
ahead.
issue where it's having a bunch of these different storylines. It's just starting all these storylines and they're not connecting it. And then in the last episode, they all come together in a really forced way. But then the show stops and says, wait a minute, this doesn't make sense. But that was the plan the whole time. Aren't we clever? And it's kind of like, well, no.
Yeah, because then you know they were intentionally like forcing shit at you the whole time.
And I like the character of Jennifer Walters. I'm excited to see her in the future. They do a good job of making that character, but the stuff they have her do in the show is just so all over the place. It's so convoluted. What Marvel has done to the Hulk is just not good.
No,
Just
it's
I can't.
infuriating.
It's not good. The Daredevil episode is probably the best episode. I actually like the last episode. I like the meta-ness of it all, but it's just so far out of left field that it's hard to really appreciate it. And I feel like if they had that tone from the get-go, I would have loved it. But again, I feel like they wanted to go for shock value, and it didn't land with me. And
that's fair. Yeah.
I just don't have much to say about this. Again, I feel like with this phase of Marvel, it's not that unpopular to say that everything's felt a little forced, a little rushed, and
it feels like a different studio made it. Yeah.
A little jambled. And I'm hoping that we start to get back to what made everything magical. And I saw that magic with Multiverse of Madness. I saw that magic with Black Panther Wakanda Forever. And I'm hoping we can get there again. I'm hoping we can get back to the quality over quantity. And I'm hoping it's happening. I hope it happens soon.
I'm with you there.
Duncan, I feel like I've talked too much, but this thing's going to end in 6 minutes. So I'm going to talk about one more thing. Another Disney Plus show, because, you know, there's not enough.
You live on that side, apparently.
I love. And this was a little mini series called Star Wars Tales of the Jedi that it was a little animated series in the Clone Wars style. And this series tells its little one-off stories of Ahsoka Tano and Count Dooku, and during the prequel era, and it talks about how they chose the path that they did and the lessons they learned. And this show is so thematically rich. Dave Filoni apparently was just on a flight and he wrote this, and then he showed it to someone at Lucasfilm, and they were like, oh, we should actually like make this into a little mini series. And it was like, why not? And I hope there's a season 2. I hope they do Tales of the Sith. I think that would be interesting. But you see Count Dooku as a Jedi and him training with Qui-Gon, and you see his turn to the dark side and his interaction with Sidious and why he does it. And it's counteracted with Ahsoka's story of her also leaving the Jedi, and that story we know. But both their reasons for wanting to leave the Jedi is so different, and the way they go about it is very different. And the animation on this thing is gorgeous, and it's just great to see like it's my childhood heroes, Duncan. I'm a sucker for seeing them, but it's so incredibly well done. It doesn't feel force-fed as some things have, and it's just so beautiful. It's not about fan service. It's about you service the fans by telling a good story, and that's what this is. It's thematically rich. I absolutely adored this, and I think altogether, all 6 episodes are like an hour and 10 minutes long. So it's like a little mini Star Wars movie.
Wow. Yeah.
Highly recommend it. Check it out. You can just the passion, Duncan, the passion oozing it's palpable. And
Emperor Palpable.
Emperor Palpable. And
Frank, I know we have to go to the break soon, but is it going to astound you to know that I have a story about this series?
Tell me the story. Can you tell it in 3 minutes and 36 seconds?
I might need more time.
Oh boy. Well, this sounds like the perfect time then to take our little Zoom break.
Yeah, let's cut to
ladies and gentlemen, we'll talk to you soon.
Sure will. Bye, everybody.
Duncan, how do I stop this?
Oh, you have to hit the record button. Recording. Hi, everyone. I'm the Duncan half of the Mr. Movies podcast, and I'm here to apologize because there's no second half of the episode. It's nobody's fault. Frank filmed this one. He sent it to me over one of those file sharing websites. I downloaded the first half to edit, and then the site refreshed. Frank had deleted his version. I couldn't get the second. It was this whole thing. it's probably more my fault than Frank's, but like, don't tell him that. But I did just promise to tell a story, and it would be kind of wrong of me to not tell that story, so I'm gonna try to do that quick and then end the episode. Okay, so there is in one episode this creature that looks like Yoda named Yaddle, who we've seen in the background of the real movies, and this is the first time that she's ever been featured, and she talks normally. She talks like, "We have to destroy the Sith before they get the advantage." Like, she speaks normally.
But the wisdom of the council is to be cautious until we know more.
Which means Yoda's whole deal about like, having dark times are we? Like the whole backwards language talk, that's his choice. Like, he's choosing to do that. If he's 900 years old, he could learn the right way to talk, or not the right way, but like, you know what I mean. Frank and I threw out our guesses, right? Like, maybe he's honoring some old language, maybe he's, I think that was the one we got, honoring old language or weird as hell, and it's up to the viewer to decide. And then I think I made a quick joke about whoever had to clean up Yaddle after she was squished. But yeah, sadly, we don't remember what movies we talked about. It's just lost to time. And I apologize, but we'll get right to work on the next episode, and hopefully we will not lose that one. So don't unsubscribe. Don't lose your faith in us. We're still kicking. Bye.